right, guys. So this is week 2 of our Coach Basics group. I'm trying to fix this so you can see me. Our life is crazy this summer in the best kind of way. But I just looked behind me and there's like junk everywhere. So sorry about that. But I'm glad that I am able to record this for you guys because I think it'll be a lot of help. Before we get started, I do want to say a prayer for us. Even those of you who are not on here, I'm going to pray for you guys and for our businesses and that God would just guide us, okay? God, I thank you so much for your blessings, for this opportunity. God, I pray that you would please just help us to make the most of it to serve you. Cease any fears, any strivings, any thing that is keeping us from achieving what you want us to achieve in this business and in our relationships with people, God. And I pray that you would bless our time, bless this group, bless these ladies who have invested their time and their money into doing something that they believe is worthwhile. And God, I know that personally you called me to coaching for a reason, and I pray that I can help these ladies in some way today and as they move forward. I thank you for the friendships and for the people that we are able to help and for our own transformations as well. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So this week is all about posting and inviting. So I'm just going to jump in with posting. So obviously, we talk about posting 3 to 5 times a day. Social media, that is our business platform. If you're not posting, then you don't have a business, okay? So I know that even for you guys who are not, maybe you're not doing this full time, you're not, you may not even be shooting for Success Club hey, Lauren.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing pretty good, thanks.
Good. I went ahead and got started. I was just going to record this for you guys, even if y'all didn't get on, but I just went ahead and jumped in, and I've already said a little prayer for you guys and everything. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can just mute yourself if you want to, or you can interrupt me and ask questions. I don't know if Dana will hop on. She usually does, but how are you? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How are your conversations going?
They're going good. Yeah, so far it's just been, close friends and family. Yeah. So haven't really branched out,
But your posts, I know that you said that they kind of make you uncomfortable, but your posts are good.
Thank you.
Feel super intimidating?
No, not yet.
I like your lipstick. You look really pretty.
Thank you. I've been really excited with how I feel. I'm on just starting week 3 of the 22 hardcore and the Shakeology, and really committing to my portion control, which is my struggle. And I feel really strong, and I just feel awesome. It's
good.
So it's so funny because I listen to the videos about how you get all excited and don't get too excited because that's where I'm at. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, this is about helping other people, obviously, but you got to take care of yourself, and that's what makes a good coach is when you do take care of yourself, and so that is exciting. You should totally be excited about that and talk about that. You can talk about that kind of stuff and just your journey. That's what you're sharing, and so I'm glad. That makes me happy for you because if that was all you ever got out of any of this was you learned that self-control and using that portion control, and because that was my biggest hang up. It still is, honestly. It's just eating the way I know I'm supposed to, eating, not eating too much when I get hungry or when I'm not hungry, and just eating too late, and it all makes me feel sluggish and bad. And so it is a really good feeling when you kind of stick with it,
Yeah.
Just that
I'm excited. I've only finished 2 weeks. I can't wait to see what happens in 6 more weeks.
Does your husband like the program?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a little skeptical at first because, we're coming from CrossFit and we had just invested in our barbells and stuff. So he was a little disappointed, but I was like, come on, just do it with me. Right. I need to commit to this program, and I want your support. And so he's bought into it. He's enjoying it.
Yeah. Did y'all do before pictures?
We did.
Okay.
We did before pictures. I did not do the measurements.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I didn't do the performance test, but really, like, I feel more agile, and I'm just pushing myself harder. And it's great. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I need to do it now because I'm only 2 weeks in and I can feel the difference. So I want to be able to track the difference.
So did you do your measurements? Are you going to take your measurements?
I'm going to because that's something that, like, you can't do yourself, right? Like, I asked him multiple times to, hey, I got to do my measurements, but he hasn't done them for me yet.
I typically do everything but my arms. Like, I can't do my arm, and I always have to have Matt do that for me. But you could do that much at least. But okay, well, good. I'm gonna go ahead and get started and just share what I've got with you guys today, and then you can ask me whatever questions that you have. Okay.
Okay.
So I was talking about posting, obviously. Like, I think that for a lot of new coaches, that's kind of a bad word. And it's really intimidating because we talk about post 3 to 5 times a day. And, you just kind of start out, you don't know what to post about. If you're like me, I didn't post at all before I became a coach. I just put pictures of my kids up, and that was kind of it. So, this social media is our business. It's how we have a business. It's how we help people. It's how we reach people. And so that posting is kind of something that you just cannot skip. I mean, like, you can invite everybody in your phone, your contact list, but you're going to run out of those people pretty quickly. So posting is how you build your business. And so, I talked about on our team call yesterday, there were 3 questions that I had for you guys. I wonder if I can, here they are right here, that I think is a good place to start when you kind of think about, what am I going to post about? Obviously, your workout photo, that's going to be a daily post. But kind of ask yourself, what are 3 topics that I'm most passionate about? For me, that obviously my faith and fitness. Right now, I love to garden. We play baseball. We like to go to the swimming pool, and so I build posts around those types of things in my family. What do you want people to know about you? That's another good place to start. What do you want people to know about you? Do you want them to know about your, obviously, our fitness journey? Do you want them to know about your past, about your faith, about, maybe you have a special needs child? What do you want people to know about you? What can you share? And the third question was, what is a topic that people ask your advice on? Okay, so I get lots of questions about meal planning, about how much water should I drink. I get lots of questions about, this is random, but my house. Like, people, they'll see pictures of my house and they like a pillow or something like that. So I can talk about decorating. If I go to TJ Maxx or to Home Goods or something and buy something, I'll post about it because people like that. And as much as I want to provide fitness information, I love some good decorating tips, so I will share things like that. People ask me, what do your kids eat all the time? And people are shocked when I say they eat what we eat, and so they want to know, how do you get your kids to eat like that? And so I need to do that more. I'm not consistent enough about posting about my family and our meals. But honestly, I just do it. It's something that even before I was a coach, I made our kids try everything. And so I will talk from time to time about, your kids are basically going to eat what you eat. If you take the junk out of the house and you put out a plate of crudité or, whatever it might be, fresh fruit, cheese, your kids are going to eat it if it's in front of them. And so, give tips on things like that. People ask me about that a lot. But as far as like in the beginning as a new coach, I had a schedule for posting, honestly, because I wasn't sure what to post. So every morning I knew I was going to get up early and do my workout. I would post about that. I knew that every night before I went to bed, I would post a motivational quote. And it was literally, I would find something online that moved me, and I would just post it, and I would talk about, like last night I posted something about you'll regret the chances you don't take, and so I just found a picture online. I posted it and wrote a blurb about it, okay? And then in between there, obviously I don't want to just be about fitness, just about Beachbody. I want to be, more well-rounded than that, because I want people to get to know me. So I would talk about my family, or I would talk about travel, or I would talk about, what I did to stay on track throughout the week. I would share a picture of a meal, or I would share a recipe that we were trying. And so those were kind of my 3 to 5 posts. It was nothing complicated. It was nothing like really profound. I'm going to mute you guys just because there is more than one. But anyways, so that's kind of how I shaped my 3 to 5 posts. And in the beginning, it really was like 3 posts a day. It would be my workout post, a motivational quote, and maybe something that I ate, or a picture of my kids throughout the day. Okay, so that's kind of how I started. And I had a plan. Honestly, as silly as that sounded, I had a plan. Like, I would actually schedule out my motivational post before I went to bed. I would go to Hootsuite.com, and I'm going to type that in here. It's, let's see, Hootsuite.com. And I added my personal page on there, my personal Facebook page, and I would go in and I would schedule out like a week's worth of motivational quotes or images and posts before that would go out before I went to bed, because obviously, I've got little kids. I was on training calls. I always tried to catch Melanie's training call during the week. And so I was just with church on Wednesday nights. Friday is family night. And so I wanted to be consistent in my posting, and that really helped me to do that. So it's going to be odd at first, honestly. Sometimes it's still odd to me. And I can remember my husband one time, after I was a coach about 6 months, and I was taking a picture of my food and talking about it. He goes, "So when do you get to stop doing that?" And I was like, I don't. I just take a picture of my food and I talk about it. Anyways, but he loves it. He's very supportive, but he just kind of thought that was gonna end at some point. But it does become more natural, and you begin to think, especially if you're in your personal development, if you're in your devotion time, if you're really, honestly, I think we're all believers here. If you're really seeking God's will in this journey for your life, He's going to give you the words, and I honestly would pray about it a lot. And I still do, because I don't want to just post something just to post something. I want it to be helpful. I want it to be useful. I want it to add value. And so, if you're praying about it, if you're in your devotions, if you're doing your personal development, you're going to have, if you're taking care of yourself, whether you mess up or not, if you're sharing truthfully, you're going to have stuff to talk about, and it's going to be helpful to other people. So, you'll start to kind of notice that if you remain consistent in it, and we talked about this yesterday on our call, that a lot of coaches start to post for a week or two, and then they just quit. Maybe they don't get lots of likes, they don't get lots of comments, and they think, oh, this isn't working, and they just quit. But the fact is that people are watching you. And if you're adding people to your contact list every day, and you're growing that audience, your visual audience, people are watching you, and you may not get a lot of likes. I did not get a lot of likes at first. There's some days I'll post and I get like 7 likes. Some days I get like 60, sometimes I get more than that. Just depends on what I post about. But people are watching you, and you'll start to have people send you a message here and there and say, hey, you've been so consistent, and you're really motivating me. You're kind of inspiring me. I got up off the couch today and went for a walk because I saw your morning workout posts. And so people are watching, I promise. They may not be saying anything, but they're following you. And, your posts, like I said, they don't have to all be Beachbody related. But, you just being present on social media is what kind of keeps you on people's minds. And I promise you that morning workout post, if you're consistent in that, people are going to come back. They'll start to expect it. Yeah, Lauren, you might not be getting a lot of engagement, active engagement, but I promise that people are watching. And so another thing, as far as your posts, another thing to do to kind of gain traction. So in Facebook land, Affinity, there with mom. It's my husband. He came home for lunch. He's like, where are the kids? But in Facebook land, Affinity is when you get more interaction or comments on your post. It automatically drives your post to the top of your friends' Facebook page. So if you do something like post 2 pictures and say, which dress should I wear on my date with my husband tonight, and say A or B. And if you get a lot of comments on that, that's going to automatically drive that post to the top of your friend's Facebook page, and more people will see it. And so that's one way for you to ensure that people see your posts. Ask opinions, share a hair product that you love to use and tell people, this stuff works for me. I just wanted to share it with other people. There are lots of things that you can post about. Like Tracy King, one of our coaches, the other day, she posted about her eyeshadow. And so, just little things like that so that it's not always about Beachbody. And whatever is in your life right now, Lauren, you had that wedding this weekend, I think it was. You posted some cool pictures. That looked fun. That was not Beachbody related. Dana, you talk about your garden and what you're growing, and I think that's so cool. I think that a lot of people get a lot of, they get an idea of what your life is like, based on those posts. And so as far as posting, that is good. But your Facebook feed, did I answer your question about affinity, Lauren? It's AFFINITY, I think is how you spell it. But as far as your Facebook feed, you can go back and you can look at your Facebook page and say, does this reflect who I am? Am I sharing enough about my fitness? Am I not sharing? Am I sharing too much? Am I, if a complete stranger came to my page, would they know that my goal is to share who I am and to share that? Would they notice that I'm sharing my fitness journey? And so that's one thing that I always like to do is kind of go back and review my Facebook page. Your Facebook banner. Let's see, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So your Facebook banner, it should be something that your profile picture basically should be you. So if you see my Facebook banner, it's kind of cut off, but you can look at that and see, I have my workout clothes on, I have scripture here, I have an image of myself. You come to my page and you see what I look like, right? Your profile picture should be a picture of you. It really shouldn't be, honestly, like a picture of you with a best friend, a best girlfriend, because if somebody comes to your page trying to figure out who you are and they see two women and they don't know which one is you, that kind of throws people off. So mine is a picture of me and my family. I have all boys in my family, so clearly I'm the only Rachel. But your Facebook image, your profile picture and your Facebook banner should reflect who you are. Now, it doesn't have to be like I put this banner together on PicMonkey before I started using Canva, but you can go to Canva and very easily create a Facebook banner very quickly that reflects who you are. So I would definitely encourage you guys to do something like that. But your profile, like I said, should be about you. You should have clear pictures that reflect who you are. Now, these ones up top, well, all these pictures actually we had professionally done. But before that, mine were not. They were just pictures that we had snapped of ourselves. There may be some from a family photo session or something that we had done in the past. They don't have to be professional photos at all, but they should be clear photos. You should be able to see your face very clearly, like I said, and it should reflect your life, okay? Your Facebook posts and your photos also should, you should start to be learning kind of how to address objections that people have. I was going to scroll through here and see if I can find something. Oh, like today, my morning workout post today. People are like, I can't work out at home and get fit. I have to go to a gym. I have to have weights. I have to have machines. And so this morning in my workout post, I talked about how my workout space is literally 4 feet by 6 feet. I started with a couple sets of weights. You really don't even have to have weights. If you do a program or you just use your body for resistance. And I went to a gym for years before we had kids and even a little bit afterwards. And I today am in the best shape of my life. I have never been as physically fit as I am today. And I have done it over the past 2 years at home, on this little mat with my own weights at home, so you can do it without going to a gym. So that's an objection that I addressed. People have this concept that clean eating is boring. They think that if you eat clean, that you just eat like lettuce, like you eat like a turtle or something. But so I post lots of pictures. So I posted this picture last night of our salad. I mean, that is a little boring, but it was really, it was really yummy. You know, like when we grill stuff on the grill, I posted about making chicken fajitas on the grill. And I love flavor. Like I love spice. I love heat. And so, you know, I put a lot of flavor into my food, and I really try to share that, whether it's through a picture of what we eat, or if it's, you know, a recipe that I will share. I try to address that objection. Shakeology, obviously, cost of Shakeology. I'd have to scroll through and find one on Shakeology. But, you know, people have this objection to the price of Shakeology, and I don't think it's ridiculous at all. I had the same objection when I first started. I didn't buy Shakeology. It was too expensive. I was not going to spend that much on a bag of powder. And so I talk about that over and over and over, and I tell my story. I talk about the fact that I wouldn't buy it. That I thought that was ridiculous for a protein shake. And then I talk about how, you know, then I learned that Shakeology is not just a protein shake. It's my breakfast. It's my vitamin. You know, I tell a lot that I used to stop and get a chicken biscuit and a Diet Coke on the way to work every morning, which was like $6. And, you know, Shakeology cost me $4. And so, you know, I talk about all that, those things consistently. And I proactively address those objections before people can give them to me. And I still share that in my private conversations with people as well. A lot. You know, if somebody tells me Shakeology is too expensive in a private conversation, I don't just back down. I share my story, and I try to do it in a way that is not pushy, but I definitely want them to know that Shakeology is worth it. And I'm living proof that it's worth it. You know, my cholesterol has been cut in half. And you know, my PMS, my symptoms, I don't have to take birth control anymore. And that's from Shakeology, because I tried all this before without the Shakeology and it didn't make a difference. But since I added it, you know, I have that proof that it works. So I share it a lot. People give you the objection they don't have time. So I talk a lot about my 22-minute workout or my 30-minute workout, you know. So address those types of objections in your daily posts. But this is honestly posting is something that you just practice, that you just kind of find your own voice. You kind of find your own funkiness with it, you know. Have fun with it. Don't hold back. I think that's a big piece of advice. Just be yourself, even if it's cuckoo and it's crazy. And, you know, sometimes I'm a lot more serious than others. And, you know, my posts, I've shared the plan of salvation many times. And that's kind of one of the most awesome thing that I get to do with this business, is I just get to share whatever I want to, and I get to help people at the same time. So be you and talk, just use your voice, you know, find your voice and find what your mission is with this coaching thing, and just go out and spread the love. So the next thing is ads. So you hear me talk about challenge group ads. If you don't advertise for your challenge groups, people aren't going to know about it, right? You can't just post once and say, hey, I've got a challenge group coming up. I want you guys to join me, message me, and that be it. You have to talk about it more than one time. As far as a challenge group ad, so let's see, let me share again and find one of mine. Find a good picture, find a good picture. I might have spanned so many things. It's crazy. Let's see, let me go to my photos. The last one I did. Let's see if I can find it. Hold on, guys. Well, this one's not the best example. I made this one on Canva, and I'm always telling you guys to, include a picture of yourself, which I tried to do. I really find that pictures, like the whole image, if it's of me with some wording across it, then I get more response. So this one I posted like in the morning, and it didn't get a lot of response, but a clear image, and if you post a picture, it can be a picture of you working out and you talking about, how challenge groups have helped you and changed your life, or the fitness programs. It can be a picture of you with your family, and you talking about your why, their why you continue to do it. It can be your before and after picture. Those are great. Those work really, really well. The image just needs to tell a story. So this one obviously is about summertime. I've got the flip-flops down here in the swimming pool. But in your challenge group post, You talk about what you're offering. You like here I said, I'm looking for 10 to 15 women who are committed to improving their health. I kind of list out there in capital letters that I'm going to help you with meal planning, share snack ideas, recipes, accountability, motivation found in God's Word. It's going to be a group of like-minded women just like you. It's your time, and it has to have a start date. So I talk about the fact that it started June 13th. People have to have a way to contact you and give a deadline. Message me by the end of today, or comment below, or say I'm in. A clear call to action is so important. And, a lot of people, this trips people up. They're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to invite to a challenge group. I don't know how to post an ad. Well, I give you guys tons of examples in our Coach Basics group. So, even if you took this and took my wording and made it your own, do it. This is something that you definitely have to practice at. Let me shut this door. Hold on. You have to practice at it. And in the beginning, I just use my coach's examples, and a lot of times I just copied them. But over time, every month, as I posted about a new challenge group, I had more to my story. I had more that I could share. I could talk about a challenger in my challenge group. I could talk about my own transformation. I could talk about the accountability that helped me. And so you've got to post ads. And so my ads, I'll advertise for a challenge group for like 2 weeks. I'll start 2 weeks before it starts, and I will post this image no less than 5 times, and then on top of that, every day, pretty much I'm talking in some way about my challenge group, or I'm definitely sending out invites every day, one-on-one. But you've got to talk about your challenge groups, and it's for people to know. And in the beginning, now people know I'm all about challenge groups. They know what I do. They know what a challenge group is. But in the beginning, people didn't know. And so I really, really had to talk about it. And so, some of you guys are really good with words. Use that to your advantage if you already know what to say. But tell your story. Your post should tell your story. Your ads, your invitations should tell your story. And I promise that this part of it gets easier. And in the beginning, I can go back and share with you some of my early challenge group ads and the wording, and they were kind of awful. But, you just kind of learn, just like anything else that's new. You learn by doing, by practicing. And so challenge groups the ads are really important. As far as, does anybody have any questions about that before I keep going? Don't have anything? You can type it in the chat bar. I can't hear you. Okay. As far as inviting, so that's the public, your Facebook posts, your ads. That's something, like I said, you should be doing regularly. Like I said, I'll share Sunday nights, Monday mornings are really good times to post a challenge group ad, just because the weekend's over. People have usually blown it. People are thinking about, having to go back to work, and they feel sluggish, or, they just feel blah. Honestly, we all know what that feels like. So those are good times to post those challenge group ads. And again, guys, in the beginning, you're going to get crickets. Honestly, you're going to get crickets. And even now, when I post a challenge group ad, I get the least amount of likes, but I get messages. I get private messages, people asking me about it. And it reinforces, when I'm daily inviting people to challenge groups, it kind of reinforces what I'm talking about in those conversations as well, which is important. You have to be inviting on a daily basis. I don't care if you invite one person a day to a challenge group. I would love for you guys to invite 3 to 5 people a day, but even if you just invite one person a day, you've got to be inviting to your challenge groups. And this is something that people are so afraid of. New coaches are so afraid of. And I was too, I promise. I thought, how in the world am I going to explain about this challenge group? How am I going to invite someone without feeling like a salesperson? But honestly, that's where your daily posts come in. That's where your credibility and people's trust in you comes in. They see your posts, they see what you're about, they see that you're consistent and that you're sticking with this and that you're making changes and seeing benefits. And so when you invite them to that, they kind of think, hey, if Dana can do it, then I can do it. And so that's really important. You know, who do you start with? Who do you start inviting? Obviously, you can invite your friends, your family. I would definitely start with those people that you're really close to. But start looking at who is liking your daily posts. You know, who is consistently following you and following your journey. Start there. And like I said, if you're consistently posting and adding value, you're going to gain followers. You're just naturally going to gain people who are following you. So start with those people. You know, in the Coach Online Office, I think there's a memory jogger in the Coach Basics page as well. Let's pull it up. It is. The memory jogger is a really good place to start. Look at Robbie. That was just amazing. The memory jogger, maybe not, but it's in the Coach Online Office under your training tab. And the memory jogger is just that. It is a way to start making lists of people that you might could reach out to. And here, I mean, there in this Coach Basics group, there's a lot. Like there's an example here of a cold invite, someone that I hadn't been in a conversation with that I just reached out to and told her about the challenge group. I posted some links in Coach Basics as well in my daily post with examples of invites. And if you need those, if you can't find them, just let me know. I'll tag you in it or something. But, you know, basically I will just reach out to someone and say, you know, hey, Debbie, you know, I love your pictures of your kids. It looks like they're growing. You're having a great summer. I just hope you guys are well. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have been working on my own fitness, and an accountability group has helped me so much. And I decided to run my own and to help other people the way that my coach has helped me. And I wanted to see if you might be interested in it for the accountability. You know, we're going to work out 30 minutes a day. We're going to meal plan and eat clean. And if you're interested, let me know. And that's how I might start an invite, a conversation with someone, you know, one where I just jump into it. A lot of times I start conversations with people, a lot of times without jumping into the invite. But that's how I would do one, just a cold invite. You know, I'll go to their page. I'll look to make sure that maybe their grandfather hasn't just died or something, you know, that I need to be aware of. And I will, you know, compliment them genuinely on something or ask a genuine question, and lead into a conversation that way. But, you know, you've got to start conversations with people there are lots of coaches I've seen and I've talked to that will just go out and invite everybody, just to invite says, hey, I'm starting a challenge group. Do you want to join me? That's not my style. I like to really invest in people more and start conversations and, you know, let them know that I genuinely am interested in them and in helping them. But, you know, I mean, there's lots of ways you can start conversations. You know, great family pictures. Who's your photographer? Or, hey, I haven't seen you since college. How are you doing? Or, you know, there's all kinds of things. You know, I saw your kids went to VBS. How was that this week? You know, so there's lots of ways to start conversations with people maybe you haven't talked to in a while. And so invites go out. Sometimes you hear back from people right away. Sometimes you get no's right away, which is fine. You know, that go for no thing that we did in our team page last week, that was good for me. That was really good for me to post that and share with you guys and learn about that in that way, because like I shied away from no's. From, you know, somebody told me no, I was just like shut down. Like I thought, oh, I'm not cut out for this. I'm horrible at this. I'm never going to be a coach. I'm never going to get challengers. But no's are okay. No's are a good thing because, like, you know, we talked about that means you're asking, you're posting, you're sharing, you're inviting. And just because someone says no right now, that just means just that they're not ready right now. And that's okay, because I don't want to force somebody into a challenge group and them not be ready and then them fail or never open their challenge pack, or, you know, start the workouts and just quit after 2 days. I want people who are ready. And honestly, I've said this before, I definitely, as I create a new challenge group, I pray and I ask God to show me, who do you want in this challenge group? And so, you know, I mean, like, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. I'm not saying every month you pray and just automatically have challengers, but it's incredible the people that God will lead you to. And it's exciting. So after you invite, follow up. Maybe you invite somebody and you don't hear back from them and you think, oh, they hate me or they think I'm salesy. But honestly, guys, think about the number of times that you have gotten a message from someone. You were driving down the road or your kids were crying or you were putting them to bed and you just couldn't get to it right then. And then you kind of forgot about it. So, follow-up is huge. I will tell you that 85 to 90% of the Challenge Pack sales that I make are from the follow-up. And if I never followed up with those people, then I probably wouldn't have them as a challenger. People are just busy. But follow up within 24 to 48 hours. And, if you don't hear back from someone, just say, hey, I invited you, shared about my challenge group. I just wanted to make sure to see if you were interested or not, because it starts on whatever, June 13th. If you want more information, let me know. I would love to talk to you about it. So just follow up with people. If they still don't respond, just let it go. Some people you're going to go through a whole conversation with, and then at the end, they're going to say no, and that's okay. The way I end those is I don't mark them off my list completely. I just kind of put them to the side, and I always end it with, well, I understand if now's not the time, but if you need help with anything, I don't mind to share a meal plan or, keep following me for recipes and tips. And so I want people to know that I'm there to add value, even if they don't join a challenge group. So I don't ever just mark somebody off my list because they don't want to join a group. But you're going to be surprised. You're going to ask a lot of people. You're going to get a lot of no's, but that's how you get yeses as well. And you, like I said, you're building, it's that compound effect. You're building your credibility. You're building your people's trust in you through your posts, and that's why the posting is so important. But as far as inviting, you've got to track it. So are you guys tracking who you invite? Are you writing it down? Are you keeping a list somewhere? So for me, I think I've shared this with you guys before, but this is just I use Asana, which is a website. I use it for free. Here, I'll type it in there. I didn't start using it, though, until I was well into coaching. But this is my calendar. This is my weekly calendar. And I will just make a list over here, and it says invite for each day. And I will write down the names of the people that I invite or that I follow up with or that I need to follow up with. So you've got to write down the names of people that you are in conversations with or that you've at least invited follow up, because honestly, I would forget about conversations and I would not follow up if I didn't track it. And I also like to make little notes. So if they have a food allergy or if they have, just anything, I just like to remember little tidbits about a conversation that we have with people, because I don't want to come back to someone and say, hey, I wanted to follow up with you about that challenge group. And they say, yeah, well, I told you that my son was in the hospital and I can't do it right now. So I like to make notes and talk to people about that. And I have done crazy things like that, unfortunately, but I learned from my mistakes, fortunately. The business activity tracker, that is something that is incredible to use. Okay. So the business activity tracker is, it's right here in our, Coach Basics group. And so every day, this is what I use to keep up with my business. And so down here on new contacts, if I add 3 contacts, I'll mark it. If I invite people to join a challenge group, I will mark it, and see down here, it's beautiful. It has a follow-up list, and you can write down the people that you invite, and you can even flip it over on the back and make notes if you need to. And just, you have a list of people that you need to follow up with. And if they give you a no, or if they buy a challenge pack, you can just mark through them on your list. But you can definitely, I flip it over and I make notes about the people that I invite. And that's a good way. Just keep it in a binder, hole punch it, and you can keep up with it that way. That's beautiful. I'm all about it. That's good. But you have to, another thing about tracking is it kind of helps you see if what you're doing is working. If you, here, I'm going to share it again. Sorry. I'm a little spazzy today. If you keep up with this and you go back and next week you review your business activity tracker and you had 0 successful conversations, or you had 0 conversations at all. If you go back and you look and you see that, I only worked out and posted about it 3 days a week, or I only read my personal development 2 days a week, or, I only invited 4 days a week or 2 days a week. it's a good way for you to keep up with what works and what doesn't work in your business. And so the business activity tracker is a really good way to do that. Just tracking it, period, is very, very important. And the last thing that I have is the compound effect. You know, do you have the book? Are you reading it? Is it helping? You know, if you're reading that book, everything that I'm saying right now probably makes sense to you. Just the what I'm saying about keeping up and tracking your business and what you're doing and posting every day and being consistent, that probably all makes sense to you. If you're not reading it, then you need to start reading it now or listening to it. You can actually listen to it. You can get on Audible and download the book and you can listen to it. I listen to most of my PD when I'm getting ready in the morning, or when I'm in the grocery store, or when I'm driving to and from somewhere. But the compound effect is really going to give you that mindset that's going to reinforce what we talked about today. And honestly, if you're not investing in your personal development, I'm talking like 10 minutes a day. I'm not talking about sitting down for an hour and finding time to do it that way, but 10 minutes a day, reading the compound effect is going to help you, and it's going to give you things to talk about, and it's going to give you that push on days when you feel like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. You're going to read it, and it's going to talk about momentum and consistency, and it's just all going to tie in, and it's going to make sense to do these things and to do them consistently, because it does pay off. You know, even if you have 2 likes every single day on your workout post, if you do it for a month, somebody's going to message you and say, hey, you know, you're motivating me. You're inspiring me every day. Thank you for what you're doing. And honestly, it's those types of messages from people that are so fulfilling and just it reinforces you. And I always feel like God has always given me messages like that right when I needed it in my business to keep me going and to keep me motivated. So that is all that I have for you guys. Do you have any questions for me based on what we talked about? If so, go ahead and shoot. Dana, are you outside?
I am, and my husband's spraying a red wasp like right now on the porch, so he's probably going to get me and him stung.
Lauren, what were you going to say?
I had a few questions. I did make myself public, which I had to pray about because, you know, I do put a lot of stuff about the kids and things like that. So I just have to be a little bit more cautious about what I, you know, put on there. Mm-hmm. And I saw something somewhere. There's just a lot of information, so a bit overwhelmed. I started, you know, because I never used to request people to be my friends. Like, I would wait until they requested me, and I only accepted friends requests from people that, like, I cared about what was going on in their life, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of went through, like, I probably had like 30 people who had pending friends requests. So I started asking, you know, doing the friends requests and doing the public, and but the Instagram one, mm-hmm. I saw something where, like, they want you to go, or they suggest to go on Instagram and like look at people who have like interests and start following them.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about how Instagram works as far as a social media platform. Right. I'm more familiar with Facebook, but so you start following them with the concept that they will follow you back. And which do you request people who are private or just people who are public?
You know, Lauren, on Facebook, how did you find me? How did we find each other? Do you have any idea? Because that's where I first connected with you was.
Because I was probably commenting on your stuff.
Yeah. So I'm not a big Instagram person, but I know it's all about the hashtags. Okay. So notice I don't actually, I send people friend requests all day long on Facebook. Not all day, but like I send 2 or 3 a day on Facebook. And I totally get what you're saying about it being odd and your kids and stuff. And I felt that way too, because it just, I don't know, it made me a little uncomfortable. But I look, you know, I really look at a person's profile before I add them. And if nobody's ever really creeped me out or anything, but if they do, I just delete them. Or if they post something that I don't like, I just unfriend them, you know. But
Yeah, and that's why I ultimately decided to go ahead.
yeah.
I actually like talked to my husband about it, make sure he was okay with it. And because you mentioned the fact that you hadn't had any creepy incidents, that's why I was like, you know what, I'll try it. And, if I have any, then
you can always go back.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that kind of explains, I was going to do a little bit of research on how Instagram worked.
So what I would do, honestly, is I would go look at some people on Instagram, and you can look at some of the hashtags I use. But if you notice, like whenever I post to Instagram, I might put like 1 or 2 hashtags in my just original comment under the post, but I don't put a ton. And so what you do, and Instagram changes all the time. But right now, in order for people to find you based on your hashtags, you have to post and then automatically go under your photo in the comment section and post the rest of your hashtags. So I usually put so if you wait 10 minutes and then you go post them, then they're not searchable. Okay. So you have to do it like immediately. And so what I'll do is I'll post, and then like as soon as I post it, I'll go into my comment section, and I actually have in my Evernote account, I have like an IG and Instagram note where I save hashtags because I don't want to have to like type them in every time. Sometimes I do, but like you just play with hashtags, like hashtag Revelation Wellness, hashtag Callie Mom, hashtag FitFam, hashtag Faith and Fitness, and so I'll come up with my own, but I'll also go look at people like Michelle Meyer or what's that Jill lady who's on Instagram, that fitness person. But like you want to attract, like I talk about, I do hashtag baseball mom because we play baseball, and so people find you that way. And so, we probably connected somewhere along the line of Faith and Fitness, and Instagram will suggest people to be your friend as well based on your hashtag. So Instagram is something that I have benefited from, but most of my interactions and challengers come from Facebook. But I have Instagram is where I've connected with people like you the most, like it's really people that I enjoy and seem like me. And I think it's just because of those hashtags, and that's how people find you. So that's what I would start doing, is just start adding those hashtags under your photo when you post them, and you'll start to see your likes go up.
Okay. Yeah, I've already seen it working.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing was directing me to I think I've seen it somewhere, and to be honest, the coach site is not as user friendly as I would have hoped.
Touch Online Office.
And I don't see a search.
Okay, I could show you how. But go ahead, and while you're doing
the product list, I'm trying to get back to the product list because outside of the link one.
Do what now? Say that again.
Outside of like that link to generate the link, like I want to find the product list that tells me, what comes as part of each package.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So what I do typically is I'm going to share. So this is like my Team Beachbody page. I'm logged in. You don't have to be logged in, but if you want to look at the challenge packs, you scroll over to Beachbody Challenge and then challenge packs, and you can look at it that way. Oh, that's going to take forever. What is it doing? It's probably because I'm on Zoom. But you can look at each individual challenge pack. But let me take you to the Coach Online Office. Looks like it's a little slow. Okay, so another thing that you can do is you can go to news and training. And if you go to news, over here on the left, it says FAQ. And FAQs are where you find information about anything. So if you wanted to see what comes in, for example, the Club Challenge Pack. So that's the one where you get access to Beachbody On Demand. Or let's just say Beachbody On Demand, because I get that question a lot. What programs are on Beachbody On Demand? And so it gives me, if there's a lot here, but FAQ 1275. And right there, It says what fitness programs are included in the digital library. So FAQs are big, and you find that by going to your Coach Online office and going to train or going to news and then clicking on FAQ and just searching. And you know, like I go there if somebody says, you know, what I had to go the other day because somebody asked me what type of veggie proteins were in vegan Shakeology. And so I went and I just typed in protein vegan Shakeology. And that's your search engine basically within the Coach Online office. Did you follow that?
You said news and training.
If you go to news, okay, can you see my screen?
Uh-huh.
News right there.
Oh, okay. It's under the news, not the
And
training.
then you go over here to the left to that FAQ. Another way to get there is over here on the right, the Coach Breaking News. You can go to View Archive, and I think it'll, oh, no, I don't know what that did. Huh. Don't listen to me. The best way to do it is just news, and then go click on FAQ, and you can search there.
Okay. All right.
Does that help? Let me unmute Dana because I unmuted her because of Dana, can you hear me?
I can.
Do you have any questions?
What are we supposed to be doing every day, like 10 minutes? Isn't there like some news that we're supposed to be looking at?
Okay. That was the personal development. Did you ever get your Compound Effect book?
I have not.
Okay. If you order that, it's like $9 or $10. That's
Okay.
the book that we're reading in Coach Basics. But you can also, like, if you download Audible, get your husband to help you download Audible, and you can listen to it like on your phone or from your iPad or something. But that's going to kind of, business-wise and consistency-wise, that's going to help you. Another thing that you can do is, do you have podcasts on your phone, Dana?
No.
No, okay. You can go into the Coach. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you go into the Coach Online office, you see right here where it says NWC Replay.
Yes.
That's the National Wake Up Call. That's every Monday. And you can click on it and listen to the replay. And honestly, I usually fast forward about 10 minutes into it because the first part is very important. It's rank advancements and things like that. They're shouting people out, but the meat of the call is usually about 10 minutes into it. And that's every Monday, and it's 99% of the time a coach who is sharing their story, sharing what they struggle with as a new coach, and kind of their business tips, and they are awesome. They are awesome, okay? It's going to help you. It's going to help you feel like you're not alone in your doubts and your fears, first of all. It's going to give you ideas and tips. So like yesterday, she talked about following up. I haven't listened to it yet, and I always catch the recording. So, you know, like I'm not that girl that sits at my desk all day and, you know, waits for Beachbody stuff to happen. I have to listen to recordings. So, you know, I always listen to it, though, every week. These have been so helpful to me as a coach. But that's one way you can get your personal development in. But I would start with the Compound Effect and listening to those National Wake Up Calls for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, again, you can do those things while you're doing something else. You know, put your earbuds in or let it play while you're putting your makeup on or fixing your hair or something in the morning or in your car on the way to the store. You know, that's when I do my personal development.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys good? I hear your birds. That's like so soothing. Love it. All right, guys. Well, we are going to the swimming pool. So I'm going to let you guys go. But if you have any questions, just post in the page. And don't forget, like, Dana, you're almost to Success Club 5. And, you know, Lauren, I know you have some conversations. And those are goals. Yes, they're fun goals. But I'm going to give you guys some stuff, give it away this month if you guys hit that. Can you say hi? He wants to know when we're going to the pool.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys today. I hope this helped, and I'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Thanks. Bye.